Hello, students. Welcome back again to English classes. And as we know, we have already covered two chapters from prose section and one from poetry section from book Flamingo. So, our next chapter will be chapter number 2 from poetry section, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum by Stephen Spender. So before moving on to the introduction of poem, I would like to give you a brief overview of our poet, that is Stephen Spender. He was born in Kensington, London on 28 February 1909, was an English poet, novelist and essayist who concentrated on themes of social injustice and the class struggle in his work. He also took a keen interest in the social and political problems of his times. As a social reformer and pacifist of his time, he questions the value of education and the morals and ethics of individuals. He left University College, Oxford, without taking a degree and went to Berlin in 1930. Books by Spender include poems of dedication, The Edge of Being, The Creative Element, The Struggle of the Modern, and an autobiography, World Within World. On 16th July 1995, Spender died of a heart attack in Westminster, London. So this was all about our poet Stephen Spender. And I would just like to give you a brief introduction of the poem, that is An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum. In this poem, Spender depicts the injustice which prevails in society. He talks of social injustice and class inequalities, denial of opportunities to slum dwellers, and also expresses his thoughts on the widening gap between the rich and the poor. He somewhere or the other seems to be hitting hard at the capitalist economy, which helps the rich to get richer and the poor poorer. The civil rights movement in America had gained pace, and Spender's poem supports it when he exposes the condition of the haves and the have-nots. The poem lucidly brings forth the miserable condition of the children of the slum and the inadequate educational facilities provided to them. The poem also talks of racial discrimination and is a socialist proclamation that a country can prosper only if education reaches to the downtrodden in the society. And if we move to the theme of the poem, we'll find out Spender beautifully brings out the theme of social injustice and class inequalities. And poverty is also another theme of the poem. Here poet creates an image of children in poverty that has caused the children to be weighed down, diseased and twisted. He also believes that poverty is created through the oppressive power of capitalism. So this was a just brief introduction of the poem and the poet. So if we move on to our poetry on page number 92, just after the brief introduction of the poet, we'll find out before you read. Have you ever visited or seen an elementary school in a slum? What does it look like? Now poet is asking, have you ever visited? And what do you feel? What does it look like? So like if we move on to, we'll find out what kind of life they used to lead, means what description I may give, even you people know better. Like if we go in our surroundings, we'll find out so many child laborers are there, and might be possible if we go and visit like metro cities as if Delhi or Mumbai, we'll find out slum areas are there. And if we go through these areas, we'll find out how many, means if I talk about number of people are there, those who are leading a very poor and miserable life. So this is a very good description which here poet is portraying in this particular poem. So finally we'll move on to poem just after this brief introduction in our next session. Thank you.